On the Buzz with Daria, Mitch, and Ted.
And Dr. James Chan is here. Dr. James Chan is a double board certified plastic surgeon, and he's also the, I don't know what you call it, owner, founder, proprietor of Reviance, which is, how would you describe it? It's a non-surgical, just face making more excellent place.
Yeah, well, it's surgical and non-surgical.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
So that's just like the blanket name for all the stuff that goes on in there.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So let's talk about a little bit the cold winter weather we've had and what that does to the face and what we can do about the bad things that happen to the face on account of the winter weather. We've had really cold temperatures, colder than we usually have.
And super dry.
In this area, and super, super dry.
Yes.
So what are some things that can make happen to the skin? Those of us who've experienced, of course, know what they are. But more importantly, what can we do to keep our skin as healthy as possible when it gets cold and dry?
Yeah, so the main thing is that when it gets cold, a lot of people turn on their heat and everything sort of dries out, especially your skin. So if you have access to a humidifier, or you can turn them on in your furnace or whatever, using a humidifier certainly will help. Anything you can do to increase the humidity in the environment.
I'm going to have to stop you there. Speaking of which of you two turned down the thermostat?
I did, because it was 95 degrees.
No,
in
it
here.
was not. It was
hot.
80. It was only 80, and now there's
80 is
cold air
way-
blowing on me.
We were too
Way
hot.
I was
too
only
hot.
going to keep it temporarily 80.
Our skin
80
is
is
getting
too hot.
Our skin is getting
I
crunchy and dry.
apologize for the boys, Dr.
Every
Chan.
other day we
If you're
complain that
freezing,
Cheryl makes it 80
maybe-
in here.
Today I made it 80. Okay, so humidifier, and that's to make the air a little bit more sultry and saturated with moisture.
Right, so if you can't change
Put some
the...
smelly oil in that water,
Yeah, the
too.
eucalyptus or something, too.
No.
If you can't change your environment, which you may not be able to, say at work, then the next thing you need to do, and this is something you should do year-round, is moisturize. And that's very important to maintain the hydration in your skin. Now, there are basically two different types of moisturizers.
Expensive and cheap.
Good and bad.
There are occlusive types, and then there are humectant types. The occlusive types are things like Aquaphor. They're petroleum-based, and they're not very practical to use, but they provide a lot of moisturization because they trap the moisture in your skin.
Because the petroleum doesn't let stuff escape.
Exactly.
Seems like that'd be
So-
bad
like
for
a
your
seal.
pores.
It can cause breakouts. So it's not very practical, but if you need that intense moisturization, it's a great product. Now, the humectants are the ones that we're probably more familiar with. These are the ones that, we use commonly.
Air goes in, air goes out.
Exactly. And they actually pull in water from the air, from the environment. So these are products that have glycerin in them. So if you look at the ingredients, usually it'll say glycerin. So things like CeraVe, Cetaphil. There are some more expensive ones that you can get from a doctor's office.
Yes, please.
Are they better?
They can be better, especially the ones that have added ingredients like anti-aging products like retinol or ceramide to help with inflammation, other things like that. We carry one called Elta MD. It's not the most expensive, but it's very effective, and we like it. We like to keep it affordable, and that's why we carry it. So in terms of moisturizers, those are basically the two groups that are out there, occlusive and humectants, and you definitely should be using it year-round. The next thing that's important in the winter that a lot of people forget about or stop doing is drinking
Sunscreen.
water.
Oh.
Well, yes,
And sunscreen, yeah.
there's sunscreen, but water. You need to continue to drink water because
Yeah.
that will maintain the hydration of your body and your skin. And Daria brings up a good point. Sunscreen, that's also important. A lot of people forget about that because it's dark out and there's not as much sun, and people just
Yeah, on the
forget to
darkest,
use it.
cloudiest days here in Portland, you don't think about sunscreen at all. I go months and months without putting it on.
Yeah, you
And look
forget
at me,
about
I'm
it.
hideous. So don't do what I do.
Exactly. So some of the moisturizers have sunscreen in them, and that's also a nice thing to use. So you can kill two birds with one stone. But sunscreen's very important. And then finally, the last thing I'll say about winter skincare is that I think that it's important to see a specialist if this is an area of problem for you, because everybody's skin is different and the treatment products are customized. One thing is not going to help everyone. People who like to get chemical peels and facials, in the winter, you need to see somebody who can add some hydration and some products that can increase hydration.
Yeah.
So
But there's some treatments that you can get chemical peel or laser treatment wise that would be really good to do in the winter, like the one that I don't know what it's called, but that can help lighten or remove dark spots or freckles?
Yes.
Because you have to stay out of the bright summer sun when you get that done. And so with the weather like this, it's a really good time to do something like that.
Yeah, it's a great time to treat those dark spots. Anything that the treatments that typically treat that are products that have hydroquinone in them. So if you're going to use that kind of thing, the winter's a great time because there's not a lot of sun out, so you're not going to redevelop those spots quickly.
What are some brand names, if you know offhand? I'm sorry to just toss this to you out of nowhere. That are good for, because there's nowadays in ads and magazines and even some ads on TV and stuff. That's kind of a big thing now. Is everybody's making a claim that if used over time, it can lessen or lighten dark spots on the face. But the truth is, they're talking about a long time to get something that really does lighten dark spots. You need something either medical grade or you need some sort of laser or chemical procedure.
Yeah, so usually there are two things to that. So if you have brown spots in your skin, you need to first get rid of them, okay? And lasers are the most effective, it's the most effective tool for getting rid of those brown spots. But once they're gone, you need to suppress the melanocytes that produce the brown spots. And topical ointments then are the best for that.
Otherwise, they'll come back.
Right. Otherwise, they'll come back. So once you've cleared the skin, then you use the topicals. And we're talking about hydroquinone is the main product. And most of the time...
And sunscreen.
And sunscreen. You need to protect it. But most of the time, you're going to see anywhere from maybe 2% or less of the hydroquinone in the stuff that's sold over the counter. But if you go to a doctor's office, you can get 4% and 6%. We carry 6% because that's the most effective.
What about 100%?
100%. Owie.
I would think that would get rid of them.
I
would
do
think
want to
so.
take a minute to point out that Mitch's mom is a melanocyte.
Thank you. Thank you, Ted.
So,
There is.
Dr. James Chan and Revionce have a wonderful newsletter that is full of all sorts of great tips, stuff like what he's mentioned here today, but also just a lot of other resources and a lot of great advice and just a lot of great suggestions of things that you probably weren't aware of or might never even have thought of.
And that's also where you can learn about the VIP Facial Club, I would imagine. That's just a fantastic offer.
Yes,
What's
that's a great thing because there are two important things with skincare. You have to do it consistently. You have to get the treatments consistently, and it's got to be affordable because if it's not affordable, you're not going to do it.
Right.
So that's the great thing about this VIP Facial Membership Club. We'll remind you to come in monthly to get the treatments, and then also it's very affordable, and you'll have a chance to talk to myself, my esthetician, my nurse, if you have any skincare questions or concerns.
And these are customized medical grade facials,
Yeah,
right? This is
these
not
aren't-
somebody just putting
these
on
aren't- yeah.
smelly
Put on the
lotions
lotion,
on you.
take the lotion off, put on the lotion, take the
Right,
lotion
yeah.
off. This is something that you have to go to a physician
Yeah.
level office to get. You also, with this membership club, qualify for discounts on Botox, fillers, and lasers. So you want to check that out as well. Dr. James Chan, the website, and is it Revionce Portland? Or
RevioncePortland.com.
Oh, good.
Or drjameschan.com.
I said
Correct.
that.
I just want to make sure everybody hears that because Revion's
or
a little harder to spell.
RevioncePortland.com.
Also,
Dr.
remember,
James Chan.
remember, Doctor, when you
Or
said you should
Dr.
try to
James
you
Chan.
should try to control your environment at work? That's just what I tried to do today, and I was
Trying to
I
burn
was
us up.
thwarted.
It's hot.
Dr. Chan, we'll see you. Have a happy Christmas, and we will see you in the new year.
Thank you.
This is Daft Punk on The Buzz.